Enemy of the Estate was a 1998 movie directed by Tony Scott. Whenever I think of Tony Scott, I think of Top Gun, Crimson Tide, Days of Thunder. It was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who also the producer of Con Air, The Rock, Beverly Hills Cop. So anytime these two get together, think explosions, car chases, and sometimes car chases that end in explosions. So Enemy of the State doesn't disappoint for action junkies. There's a lot of references to another privacy movie, Francis Ford Coppola's 1974 movie called The Conversation, that also featured Gene Hackman as a character called Harry Call. I'd recommend watching that movie before watching Enemy of the State because you're going to pick up on some references, including recording a couple walking around in public with this numerous high-tech microphones in Gene Hackman's office called The Jar in the movie that's really similar to his office in The Conversation. This is all in a pre-9/11 2001, focusing on the needs for surveillance to prevent terrorist attacks. Interestingly enough, when we find out more information about the NSA assistant, Thomas Reynolds, kind of a pasty-faced John Voight looking like a former Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, was an assistant at NSA calling the shots on this kind of training exercise. In a spooky coincidence, his birthday is listed as 9/11, 1940. There's two parallel privacy storylines going on here, and they're going to intersect at the end of the movie. The first one deals with Will Smith, who plays his labor lawyer, Robert Dean, working at a DC law firm. One of his clients is a labor union, trying to have a fair vote that doesn't involve the mob, represented by Paulie Pintero, who's played by Tom Sizemore, who's physically threatening union members to vote his way. Dean wants some leverage on Pintero, so he hires his ex-girlfriend, Rachel Banks, played by Lisa Bonet, to get some damaging information against Pintero. Banks hires ex-NSA security expert Brill, played by Gene Hackman, who secretly makes a tape of Pintero violating his parole, and Dean shows it to Pintero. How the tape was made and the first privacy question that comes up in the movie. Pintero gives Dean 1 week to produce all the copies of the tape, or he's going to kill him and his family. The main privacy theme deals with the murder of Congressman Phil Hammersley, who's played by Jason Robards, who's blocking Reynolds' surveillance bill. Reynolds and Hammersley meet at a quiet lake, but when Hammersley refuses to stop blocking the bill, Reynolds has him killed, making it look like a heart attack. This is all unknowingly captured by videographer Daniel Zavitz, who's played by Jason Lee, who looks at the video and discovers the murder cover-up. After an NSA chase, Zavitz passes the tape to Dean without his knowledge. So Reynolds impanels an NSA team for a training exercise and uses every surveillance trick and device to bug Dean's life and find Zavitz's tape. They even kill Rachel Banks to discredit Dean in case he attempts to go public with the tapes. So as mentioned before, there's a lot of explosions and car chases with the NSA trying to capture Dean and Brill. They escape and turn the tables by bugging Reynolds and Congressman Alberts, who's the main sponsor of the surveillance bill, which seems to foreshadow the loss of privacy in the Patriot Act that was passed after 9/11. It's reminiscent of a Benjamin Franklin quote from 1775. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. The two stories converge at the end of the movie when Dean and Brill are captured by Reynolds' NSA team, and they're brought to the Pintero Social Club. Reynolds and Pintero confusingly both want the tape, but they're talking about two different ones without really knowing it. A gunfight ensues, everyone except NSA tech Jack Black and Dean are killed or injured. The movie concludes with Dean's life getting back to normal with his family and Dean's wife, played by Regina King, yelling at the TV, "Who's going to monitor the monitor of the monitors?" Finally, Brill flexes his privacy muscles one last time by bugging Dean's TV, reminding us all that we are not alone.